At the beginning of the year, I got my second payout from Top Step. I thought I had it all figured out, but in reality, I lacked discipline. I didn't follow my plan. I focused way too much on the P&L, and I ended up giving that $1,200 payout right back to Top Step in the form of resets and activation fees. That's when I realized if I was ever going to make it, I needed to build discipline. So I stepped back, traded a single micro in a small personal account, and focused on the process. Let's take a look at my trades today, and then I'll share with you my plan to build discipline. Okay, I'm about to take a C short here. It was a perfect setup. I did scale down to only one micro on this one. It had a 20-point stop and a 30-point TP, but we were 6 or 7 minutes away from the PMI news, and I was just sort of scared of that. Now you'll see I moved my TP down. This actually easily hit the 30 points, but I decided I'll go for 60 points because I'm only trading a micro. That was dumb. I should have just left the trade as is. And I get stopped out here for 8 points. So I made like $15 on it. All right, so the news was finished now, and an A long had set up. It had a 27-point TP on it, I think about an 18-point stop. So I took the trade and I did watch it. I watched it, but was very much committed to not messing with it. I was a bit worried here that I was going to get stopped out. Um, Kept my mouse off of the cancel all button to TP early. So just waiting for it to hit my TP or lose. Either way, that would be it for the day. And it gets my TP here, and I was up $288 today. Okay, let's work on building some discipline. My first step in building more discipline around your trading is to look at your behavior, look at your past trades, and really figure out where your discipline breaks in the first place. So, what kind of sets you off? Because when things are going good, great, they're going good. But then what's that thing that triggers you to overtrade, revenge trade, FOMO, and blow up accounts? For me, it was just losing a single trade. After I took one loss, then I would just make poor decisions from there. So the main things for me were losing a trade, taking profit early on a trade, and then watching it go to hit the full target. Oftentimes after that, then I would just impulsively jump into something else, trying to make back that money that I had lost or not taken. And then another big one for me was talking myself out of a valid setup, not taking the trade, and then watching it win without me. Like I rarely would do that and then take a good trade after that had happened. So look at your own trading. If you don't know what the triggers are for you now, then start journaling and really pay attention to what happens before you jump into a random trade or overtrade or, any of those behaviors that you don't want to be doing anymore. So figure out what it is for you. Now that you have your triggers figured out of where things go off course with your trading, your second step is going to be to create a rule or rules to either prevent those triggers from happening or to cut your trading off as soon as they do happen. So for me, it was only taking one trade a day because if I had a loss, then I needed to just not trade again. I tried doing 3 trades. I tried setting other limits. I really didn't want to only take one trade a day. I resisted this for like over a year. And then I finally came to the realization I can only take one trade a day. I'm getting better now. Like today, I took 2 and was totally fine. The other thing for me was to not watch the trades. If I'm not watching, then I can't TP early. So then that takes care of that problem. And then as far as watching trades win without me, the other rule that I had to implement for myself was to take the first valid setup that I see. So as long as you're waiting for your setups, there's no reason not to take it when you do see it. Now that you have your discipline and your process rules clearly written out for yourself, your next step is to shift your attention away from your P&L and towards your new discipline plan instead. So getting away from the P&L is and has been so hard for me to do. What I've done, and I think has helped a lot with it, is to hide the P&L. So whatever platform you're using, get the P&L off your screen. Don't be looking at it when you're in trades. I look at it after I'm done trading for the day to see where I am. And honestly, I could probably get rid of that. Like, that's probably not a good habit, and it's something that I need to watch so that it doesn't start creeping back in, that I'm constantly checking the P&L. The other thing you can do, if your chart shows in dollars, like when you place your order, switch it to points. So I try to focus on how many points I got on the NASDAQ, not how many dollars. I know in the funded account, I think I've been a little bit focusing a little too much on the dollars and not the points. So I need to get back to that. Another thing to keep you on track with your discipline, if you're trading prop firms, is to set a monthly budget for yourself. For me, that was $130 Canadian. So it's 125K eval from Take Profit Trader a month, and that's my budget. So if I blow that eval halfway through the month, then I have to just trade on a practice account for the rest of the month until I get a fresh budget to work with. So really set yourself a budget that you're fine with spending or losing each month for the prop firms. Then the other thing, and I think this one's really tough, is to forget about the idea of any money or payouts from trading for, I don't know, like at least 6 months while you're working on building discipline and working on your trading process and your actual trade executions. So no monetary goals. The last and maybe the most important step in building your discipline is to shift your focus entirely to your process and your rules and your discipline. Focus on your discipline. Think about your discipline more than the money and more than the actual trades. So some ways that you can do this are to have like an actual physical daily checklist for yourself that outlines your rules, and then it's just like, did I stick to my rules for the day? Like your discipline rules. You can have trade entry rules as well as discipline rules, and it's just, did I follow those for the day? Yes or no. If it's a yes, you won on the day, you did good, you should be happy with things. ChatGPT, you can tell that to make you a checklist and format it so that you can just print it off. Makes it easier for yourself. Another thing that I started doing was to give myself little rewards for winning on discipline. So if I had 4 or 5 discipline wins in a week without any sort of major incidents, then I could either go out and buy myself something small, or else I could like take a morning off, not a trading morning, obviously, but a morning when I would have been doing some other kind of work, and I could take that time off just to like watch a show or, do something kind of wasteful with my time. Another thing that has really, really helped me is accountability. So some suggestions to give yourself accountability. One, because I'm doing this and going through this now, is you can comment on my videos to let me know how you did on your discipline and on following your own rules. Like, if you don't follow your rules, then it might help you to know, like, oh, I'm going to have to go and publicly say I didn't follow my rules today. Another thing is you could get a trading buddy. I've never done that, but I mean, I'm sure it would probably work well. So you could find a trading buddy. Or another thing that I started doing at the beginning of the year before I started doing YouTube was I used ChatGPT. And every single day, as soon as I was done trading, I went and basically went over my trade, and I went over what went wrong that day, what I didn't do right, and just like worked back and forth with the AI on how to do better. And that really helped. And that really solidified that, like, it really got it narrowed down by doing it every day, that like, okay, these are the rules that I need to have to build discipline. Another big one, which might not seem like it fits in here so well, but it definitely does, is do not have other traders' live streams playing while you are trading. This killed me so many times. Yeah, just don't do it. You're trying to focus on your process, and having somebody else in the background influencing your trading is just going to mess with that. So I used to love listening to different live streams while I was trading, but I had to cut it out completely. I still find myself tempted to do it on days when it's like, it feels like there's volatility out of nowhere, or I'm not sure what I'm doing. Then like like, oh, well, maybe I could put on Top Step TV and see what they're saying, but don't do it. Don't ever do it. It's just a bad idea. It's going to mess with your trading. Another thing that isn't trading related, but it will help, is to build discipline in some other areas of your life as well. So if you can build structure and discipline around something else, then I think it will just help you to feel like I'm a disciplined person and I can do this. So for me, it's like I'm fairly strict on how much water I drink a day. Like it's like 3 liters of water a day, and it's pretty scheduled. And I've been doing that for probably 2 years. Another one is working out. So it's like I need to work out, 5 days a week before I trade. And it's just important to have that habit. Other ones could be meditation. I'm not I'm not good with that yet, but I'll work on it. And it could even just be something as simple as like if you want to start taking a new supplement, like just getting on a plan with that and sticking to it. Yeah. So then it's like just I don't really know how to emphasize this as much as I would want to, but just focus as much of your attention as you possibly can on your discipline and on your rules and on keeping on track with your rules and your discipline, and not on your P&L and not the trades daily. Of course, you need to watch your trades and you want to see what's working, what's not working, and what you need to refine and change. But you want the main focus to be on the discipline. And when you shift to that, then I think that just helps so much, because when you're going to take a trade, you're focused on the rules. You're thinking about the rules. You're not like, I think it takes away some like, so if I would jump into a random trade before, that's fully emotion. And now it's every decision I make from that point on is just purely driven by emotion, and it's not going to go well. It's not going to end well for me. But when I'm focused on sticking to my rules and to the discipline and paying attention to that all the time, then I'm more able to just calmly wait for my setups and go, this is my setup. I have to take it. Okay, I took it. Now I need to leave the room, and then I can check it later, and I'm not allowed to take another trade. I just need to accept the outcome. I'm so far from perfect on this. I'm working on it, but I've noticed such a big difference in my discipline and in my trading since I started doing these things. So if you struggle with discipline at all, or you think you could use better discipline in your trading, then I really encourage you to try these things out for at least a month and see where you're at with it. If you liked the video today, leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and join me on my discipline challenge. You can let me know in the comments if you're going to join me on the challenge, and then just let me know every day how you do on your own discipline rules. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. If you like